everybody, I need your help. I want all of you to get down on your knees and pray to the sim racing gods on my behalf. I need a clean race here more than ever to finally put an end to this terrible run I'm on, and I'm hoping it'll come today in Low Fuel Motorsport's BTCC series on rFactor 2. I'm low on confidence, I'm low on ability, and I'm low on self-belief. Is today the day where I can start to turn things around? Now, there's a wide range of abilities on the grid here at Donington Park today, and I'm pretty much in the middle, qualifying P11 with a time of 1:11.7. I'm more than 2 seconds off pole position man Rich Wetherill, but I am within half a second of Stefano Pittis in P8. Normally I'd say I'd love to challenge for a top 10, but after my recent form, finishing in one piece has got to be my #1 goal. And we're underway for 25 minutes here at Donington Park, and we've actually got a pretty good launch off the line there. We've already picked up a couple of positions. It looks like we might have had a retirement on the line. One car disappeared, and that also stopped Stefano Pittis getting a decent getaway. However, Pittis' BMW is on my outside now, so I've got to be really careful through T1. We lose the position back to Pittis and also Eric Corbiere too. And yeah, I was pinned in really tight through that first corner, which meant I wasn't able to get out of it quite as quickly as I would have liked, and as a result we've dropped back down to where we started, 11th position. But that's certainly not a disaster in what is a long 25 minutes around the national circuit here at Donington Park. So halfway through lap 1, we've tucked ourselves into a fairly comfortable 11th position, but as we enter McLean's for the first time, the pack in front are really starting to bunch together. Oh no, here we go. We're 4 wide into Coppice. This surely isn't going to end well. There's a Corolla that's been nudged out into the gravel. That is Inaki Diavilla. And if we can keep it pinned without straying from this inside line, we should get a position. We should get past Diavilla. We switch back to the racing line. However, Diavilla switches to the inside line. He's going to try and bite back into the chicane, and he's done it. So we're trading blows with Diavilla at the end of this first lap. BMW gone. BMW into the wall. That was Stefano Pittis crashing out at the very end of the first lap. So we are into the top 10 and in hot pursuit of Diavilla. Well, I said before the start of the race that of course survival was my #1 goal here, but that I did also fancy a challenge for the top 10, and so far so good. We're in 10th position as we snake our way through the Craner curves for the second time. Eric Corbiere in 8th, Inaki Diavilla in 9th, and we're in 10th. Oh, look at the Honda of Corbiere. He's completely missed his line into the old hairpin there. Oh no, he's going to rejoin. We're going to have to be really careful here, and we just creep around the outside. We've lost someone else in the grass to the right by the looks of it as well. Yeah, we find ourselves up to 8th position, so let's check out the replay to see how that came about. Now, it was actually a fairly quiet start to the race until it all kicked off in McLean's. We see the 2 cars at the front of the pack coming together. That bunches up the group, and all of a sudden we're 4 wide coming into Coppice. That's never going to end well, and ultimately it's the person on the outside who pays the price. That was Inaki Diavilla in the Toyota getting pushed out onto the grass. It gave me the opportunity to get past him, but I switched back to the racing line. Maybe I shouldn't have, because it opened up the door for Diavilla to fight right back into the chicane. But don't watch that. Watch the BMW of Stefano Pittis. He's going to get it wrong, exiting the chicane, and he's ended up nose first in the tyre wall. So Pittis' misfortune was my gain. That put me back into the top 10, and then at the old hairpin I was going to get 9th, but it wasn't without a fright. Look how wide Corbiere is. I knew he was going to rejoin. All I could do was leave him space on the inside and hope there wasn't contact. There wasn't. While all this was happening, we lost another driver on the other side of the track. This is Jesus Aguila crashing out of 5th position. Right, let's return to the live action towards the end of lap 3. Apologies for no race laps overlay in this video. I had some problems with my recording software, and as a result I could only capture the basic gameplay footage. No overlays were recorded, but we're starting lap 4, and as you can see in the rearview mirror, Eric Corbiere has got a much better run out of that final chicane. By the time I realised he was there, it was too late for me to move over to the racing line. I had no choice but to stick to the inside and surrender the position. So we're going to jump forward 5 minutes, because I spent the next few laps just trying my best to stick with Corbiere. Actually, we're fairly identical on pace. To be fair, we were separated by just 1/10 of a second on the grid, but I needed Corbiere to make a mistake to close that gap back in, and that's exactly what he did going through McLean's there. He just missed the apex, he was out wide, and all of a sudden I'm swarming over the rear end of that Honda again. So can we put him under some pressure as we charge down this back straight? Let's not forget the 2 cars behind as well. Christophe Picot and James Beckett both within 1.5 seconds. So I don't want to push too hard and make a mistake. Speaking of a mistake, look at Corbière into the final chicane. He ran in way too hot. He's lost control of the Honda and he's crashed out. We're back up into 8th position. Yeah, let's check out the replay of that one. Corbière just ran it in a little bit too hot. He's getting the car turned in, but he just can't get it turned in time. He clips the gravel on the inside and that sends him out. Well, when we were first promoted back up into 8th position, we were more than 3 seconds behind Thiago Teixeira in 7th position. We're now rejoining the live action at the halfway point of the race, and we've halved that deficit. He's now just 1.5 seconds in front, and he's also been held up by that BMW, who is a back marker. Again, apologies for no race labs overlay. We can't actually tell that this is a back marker, but it is. So Teixeira has got around him. He's got a 1.6 seconds advantage over me now, but crucially, he's got a clear track in front of him, so it's vital that we get around this BMW as quickly as we possibly can, but we've got to do it safely. I'm going to take a later entry into the hold hairpin with the hope of getting around the outside with a bit of extra power on exit, and that's exactly what happens, but it has slowed me down. Look in the rear view mirror, Beckett behind us now, just 0.2 of a second back. So never mind chasing 7th. Right now we've got a job on our hands to hold on to 8th. James Beckett all over the rear of my Toyota. Look in front, cloud of dust. We've lost Teixeira. He's made a mistake into Coppist. Is he going to get back on track in time? He does do, but he's so down on speed that we're going to breeze past into 7th position. Let's watch the replay of this mistake. It's such an easy one to make into Coppist, and believe me, I know because I did it myself just a couple of laps later. Here I am in a comfortable 7th position, and I'm going to throw it away by making an identical error, just locking the brakes up at the worst possible time on the brow of that hill. It misses the apex. I'm out onto the gravel, and it takes an age to get back onto the track. Look at that. Teixeira goes past, Beckett goes past, and we're down to 9th. So nobody to blame but myself for that one. We're now more than 2 seconds behind these cars in front, and we've got it all to do. So I'm fast forwarding now to the final stages of the race. I spent the rest of the race doing everything I could to reel back in those cars in front. Beckett cleared off, he's gone, but we're now within 1 second of Teixeira. We're under no pressure from behind either. Our nearest rival is Christopher Picot in 10th. He's more than 4.5 seconds back. Ignore the car in the rearview mirror. That is a back marker. So we've now passed the 20-minute mark in this race. There's less than 5 minutes remaining, so only a few laps to go. Can we do anything about it? Can we get past Teixeira and regain this 8th position? We're all over the rear of the Honda now. We've been chipping away 0.2, 0.3 of a second every lap, so I know I've got a little bit of extra pace, but have we got the pace and the skill, more importantly, to get around Teixeira? But whatever happens, it just feels so good to be driving positively again, getting towards the end of races, battling and challenging for positions. Boy, how I've missed it. Into McLean's then, and it looks like Teixeira's locked up. He's missed the apex. There's a gap on the inside. This is surely an opportunity now. We've got to push up the inside. It's going to be really tight, too wide into Coppist. Can we hold the tight line? Can we do it safely? Teixeira's left us a car's width on the inside. That's all I can ask of him. The rest is on me. But oh no, Teixeira is out into the gravel, so we've made the pass, but unfortunately Teixeira's run wide. Was that my fault? Was I too aggressive with the pass? Let's check out the replay. He was wide through McLean's. I thought the gap was there. I wasn't quite alongside, but he did leave me a car's width on the inside. Oh, I don't know. It's tough to tell from that angle whether I ran him out wide. It certainly felt like I stayed as tight to that inside curb as I could. We'll ride on board with Teixeira now, see if we can get a better view of it from this angle. Well, it's still inconclusive really, isn't it? Because we can't see my car. We can't see how close or far along I was. Let's go to the chopper cam. This should give us the answer. Now I've got to hold as tight a line as I can here. I can't drift out to the left of the track and push Teixeira off. It doesn't look like I do. I am holding it really tight there. It does look like Teixeira just drifted out wide of his own accord. It probably spooked him knowing I was on the inside. And also I was pretty late sticking my nose in there too. But ultimately I do hope we can just about call that a clean pass. I certainly had a car's width on the inside. TXtra had more than a car's width on the outside, but it's such a tricky corner. When you miss the apex, we've seen it so many times this race alone, when you miss the apex, that gravel on the outside is like a magnet. It pulls you out there, and unfortunately that's what happened to TXtra. But if you've been watching the live action on screen, you'll see that I'm under all sorts of pressure from a car in the rearview mirror. Now that's still the back marker, so at this point I decide the safest thing to do is just take a really wide entry into T1 and let him go by. I've got 4-second advantage over TXra now, so the last thing I want to do is come to grief with a back marker trying to unlap himself. So I do feel far safer with him in front of me. I've still got a gap of around 3 seconds back to TXra in ninth. So we're going to jump forward to the very last corner of the very last lap, and I am going to bring it home in one piece. What a success. We finish in 8th. Beckett in 7th is more than 7 seconds clear. The 3 cars in front were all back markers. So let's check out the classified results then, and I'm happy to get this far in a video. It seems like it's been a while. I had a fastest lap out there of 1:11 flat, so that's 0.7 of a second quicker than I managed in qualifying. It's still not quick enough to challenge any of the drivers in front of me, but I'm really pleased to bring it home in one piece. The result is just an added bonus. And before I sign off, I just want to say sorry for posting so many negative videos lately. I feel like all I've done is whinge and moan. I'm fully aware that I've been a bit off my usual pace lately, so I've brought many of my recent problems upon myself. I've spent too much time complaining about hard luck and not enough time questioning my own performances. Well, that's in the past. From here on in, I'm trying to stay positive in every race. Thank you ever so much for watching.